Let me see if I can put this microphone. And if you can talk up just a little bit, because I'm actually um about to do a podcast, and so yeah, that's what's up. You actually
Yeah,
calling
that
on,
was.
huh?
Yeah, that was up. How
Yeah.
everything going?
Oh, it's going all right, bro. It's going all right. It's going all right. Speak up into the mic one time.
Okay, everything better right now.
Not really.
How's it sound?
I kind of want speak again.
How you doing? How everything going?
All right, all right.
Everything.
That's all right. So what I'm gonna do is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to let you. Yeah, man. I want to talk about what you was talking about the other day, and really, I ain't know you was gonna call, and so I gotta, handle what I was finna handle, and
Correct.
I don't know how long do you have on the phone?
Well, I got me a good 30 minutes on the phone.
Okay, okay, good 30 minutes. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
30 minutes.
Yes, sir.
So
So
that's
let me
why I have to stay ready. That way I don't have to get ready. That's the mindset that individuals have to have.
right, right, right. Um, so what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. God is good, man. One of the main reasons why I kind of, one of the main reasons why I kind of felt inclined to go live in particular, to be honest, was actually I think I'm gonna let you So I'm speaking to anybody. Uh, First of all, it's Krown Deon, Revolutionary Road. I'm unapologetically revolutionary, and something just happened this morning that made me want to speak to the people, and it just so happens by chance, and I don't like to say by chance. Y'all already know that. So I'm gonna just say, it just so happens my brother floated my this way. I'm gonna say the spirit led this way while I was going live because that's something he wanted to do anyway. My brother is behind the walls, and sometimes we know people from behind the walls got a lot more time to do research to know what they're talking about, and they have a lot more inspiration. They have a lot more time to listen to God, to know what they're talking about, and to know if it's something that they want to bring to the people. So I have conversations with my brother all the time from behind those walls. But not only is he a brother from behind the walls, but I've been knowing him all my life, and so he's a friend. And so anytime you see a friend make a lifetime change, you're not really concerned with the circumstances, especially if you me, somebody who experienced those same type of lifetime changes. So, without further ado, my brother Victor Thompson from behind these walls, you still with us, though, a man of God. Speak about that. If I said a man of God, but he might say it in a different way. So, speak about that, my brother.
First off, I have to give all praise to Yahweh. That's my
Okay.
God. And at the same time, I praise Yahweh for brothers like yourself, always been stirring, was meant to be. And at the same time, that never gave up with the vision that Yahweh have given you and being that positive attitude to spin off the gears of me. Because it's brothers like myself that, went different directions of the wrong way and found a way to turn around and come the right way. And that's all a part of life. Bible speaks about that all the time with different prophets. And by that being said is that I'm grateful and I'm thankful, for you at this particular time. Like you said, everything is meant to be. Everything is dealt with perfect timing. So that way you have to always be ready instead of having to wait to get ready when opportunity presents itself. So thank you once again, my brother Kel. And I'm no more Victor Thompson, aka Big T.
Okay.
My Hebrew name is Kazo, being Bethel Israel. That's who I am now.
Okay, I like that. Give us the meaning for
Hey,
that.
the meaning
Yes.
for Cosmo, the meaning is prophecy, vision, behold, seer, to contemplate, to see, prophecy.
Mm.
My left best of my name is spelled in Hebrew, Chet Zayin Wab, which comes to a total numerical value is three, Gamel. And the letter Gamel is reward one, five. And the whole thing is that I was blessed to be able to make it at this particular age to learn from my mistakes. And I don't look at things as mistakes anymore. I look at things as attempts. Attempt to try things. Okay, it didn't work that particular way. And learn from these attempts. And this is where people need to use their vision on instead of looking at failures and just having pity parties and being stagnated with themselves.
Mm. All right, my brother.
So
I
thank
know
you.
I know you been keeping things on the cover, but you know I wouldn't be a good host if I didn't push. So even though you might not want to tell us when are you coming home, my brother?
Well,
And
I was keeping a secret, and
I
it'll be around.
I understand. Trust me.
I always have to be on 1,000 with you. I don't know no other way.
Now,
You know, we go all the way back to house party days.
okay.
So actually, the 7th of August. You know,
Oh
it's the date.
wow.
Yeah, the date. I'm blessed to jump and come with a new vision. Come back to the city that I love. To bring a different mindset.
Okay.
To bring the unity back to the bird because
Mm.
of what I've been hearing and been going so long in the direction that it went in. I'm where the Godhead is at. And this is what I'm gonna be looking for.
Right.
And so this on my first day out. So my vision is to jump out running, no breaks, and
No
bring
breaks.
people together and bring the truth back to the people
Okay.
because they need this truth.
Okay. Okay. All right. You're listening to Victor Thompson. You know, in a lot of people's opinion, my brother is a definite hood legend. But as he said, I'm very conscious of my words. And so I do want to say that is the man formerly known as Victor Thompson, DJ Vic T. And just like when our late great brother Prince had to be the artist or had to go under the pseudonym of the symbol for certain reasons, and the symbol represented something he didn't want to be, but he could no longer be himself. And so at some point when he obligated or fulfilled his uh, whole life or whatever contract to the symbol, he wanted to become
You have
back to Prince. If I would have knew that was coming that long, I wouldn't have took that long. But I just wanted to say that to say my brother has changed his name, and not just a name, but an identity and a purpose. And sometimes that means everything. Bro, you got like 30 seconds. Speak to the people.
Yeah, I'm speaking to the people to tell the people I love them, and I'm just gonna ask people if you have loved ones that's gone at the same time, you know, be in their corner, have a heart, have passion for them, and always remember, no one's perfect. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody make attempts. And
I ain't want to ask you to do. I ain't want to ask you to do it. All right.
So it's all love though, but at the same
Yes,
time,
sir.
you know, I'm gonna ask everybody, and to my Hebrew brothers, is always love, all praise to Yahweh, and bless you, my brother Kel, and all the brothers that's standing on the roof, revolutionary, because I stand not behind y'all, but beside y'all and in front of y'all also.
Okay, that's what it is. Bro, to the next time.
Thank you for using Global Telling.
Wow. Mm. Whew, boy. And so, um, that was pretty smooth. That was pretty cool. I I just talked to Victor Thompson, and wait, I want to move my computer over here because I'm also doing my podcast. And so I just talked to Vic T, for everybody from St. Petersburg. Uh, you know, for those that know Victor, still remember Vic. My brother is coming home soon. I just spoke to him, and I actually speak to him a lot. Man, it's been it's been a wild morning already. Um, but I won't just say wow. It's been a blessed morning already. And so my mom, I actually kind of went on family feed, and I actually kind of went on the family feed, and I said, "Hey, God used me to save a man's life this morning." And so, hmm, I yeah. And so God used me to save a man's life this morning, and to be honest, it was awesome. I mean, like, yeah. Um, I still was trying to process some things. Tequila, I was, oh man, you know what? My cousin just be on point. Cuz, let me tell you something. Like, um, so first of all, it was a great show last night. And so this morning I get up and I titled this, I thought about being a tool and how instruments, being an instrument or a tool. Mostly an instrument because we're talking about instruments of God. And the thing about being an instrument or a tool, either one, instrument, tool, um, you just never know when you're gonna be used, or if you're a tool or instrument, you never know when you're gonna be played. You never know when that owner, the master, the person that bought you as an instrument is gonna want to play. You know, they may you can buy a tool, and I mean you can buy a flute or guitar. I got a guitar myself, which I never play. So I'm actually a good example of what I'm talking about. I should go get my guitar. I never actually play it. And I'm finna get my guitar. Now see, now, hey, cuz, now look at this. Now, I never play this guitar, right? I mean, I don't practice, I don't do nothing. I wish I need to get my little cousin Emma to train me on the guitar. Shout out to Gerald and Sarah, Emma, Sophia. All right, and so, but if I did know how to play, if I did, every time I pick up this guitar, I would expect it to sound right. You know, I wanted to play right. You know what I mean? I would expect the keys to be right. I would expect everything to be in tune. And a lot of times we don't often keep it in tune. But you know what? God does. God keeps us some type of way. He keeps us tuned. I see my cousin driving. Where you going to work? Let me see. Oh man, I can't hear you. I want to hear you. Bim, cuz. Oh, I still can't hear you. What's going on? I don't know why I can't. But let me tell you what happened this morning. So, a lot of times I want to say, you know, about being an instrument. You never know when you're going to be needed. You never know when God's going to call you or use you. You just simply don't. Going to my oh snap, going to woo woo woo. And I seen your little post about somebody's future wife looking fine, fine. Look at my cousin. My cousin going to Miami, and she already been. Oh snap! All right now. All right, and so let me tell you, cuz you make sure you drive safe now. All right. The thing, all right, and so here it is. We are all tools. We are all instruments of God. We don't know when, how, why we'll be called. You don't know how many times you'll be called. And so you can be called every day. And so I'm walking. One of my posts that I just said to my family is I actually didn't send it. I texted, but I didn't send it. Sorry about that, y'all. Is so I'm walking, and a lot of times in our community, we often see things. We see especially in a poor, drug-heavy ridden community. It's nothing to see a man pass out walking or a woman. It's nothing to see him fall down, and traffic keeps going. You know, it's a normal thing. And I want to say today, I really want to say, we must not do that. We must not do that anymore. Um, we must actually not consider that person just as a alcoholic, an addict, or somebody who might have drugs in their pocket. I mean, the facts are this, and I'm still trying to process it. But I saw a man, and all the traffic drove by. They kept going, um, and I did too, to be honest, because I am. This is a testimony, so to speak, and so I drove by as well. But that's the thing about what I'm saying. You know, I care about people so much, but I know that it was God that kept playing the vision back in my head of how he fell. And I didn't even know who it was at the time. But all I knew is I saw a man fall. And as I turned, I saw that fall 5 more times in my head. You know, and it was almost like God was telling me, you know, that wasn't a normal fall. You know, this guy's not drunk. You know, this guy is not passed out on drugs because of the way his legs was buckling the whole way. And so I'm looking at people just drive by. I'm looking at neighbors sitting on their steps, and I called 911, which is something we don't like to do. And I called 911, but I also went around the block to go back to that man. When I went back, of course, I didn't know who it was, and I didn't know if it was serious. I didn't want to go up to him, and you know, because you could just, I didn't know, but I didn't think he was breathing. And I also want to say thanks. I made a post about the horrible response time on ambulance and on first responders, on cops in our communities when we need actual help. Not when we need you to come in and terrorize our own homes, but when we actually need help. And I made a big post about how bad it was, but I want to say in particular how good this was this morning. I made that call, and before I circled around 16th Avenue, my own block, by the time I pulled up to that man and I said to myself, my God, he not breathing. The ambulance was pulling up, and he wasn't breathing. I knew at that time that God had used me this morning. I knew at that time that I was an instrument. And the thing was, I had a point or a period where I could have not did what I should have done. And one of the things that once they turned him over, I realized who he was, and I went to get some of his friends, or one of his friends in particular, Marvin. And I told Marvin, talk to him. He might can hear you. When the cops asked Marvin, well, not the cops, but the ambulance, do you know his name? Because it might help us to understand, you know, what things he might have suffered from in the past. I know he's a veteran, and he asked him flat out, do you know if he has any drug abuse in his history? And Marvin's response was, I don't know. And I looked at Marvin. Marvin knows I'm speaking the truth. And I said, Marvin, Tell them what's gonna save his life. Forget the street shit. Forget the street code. All of that crap. This is not a cop. This is an ambulance. You can save his life with the correct answer. Why am I saying all of that? All right. I'm saying for my people in our community, in any poor community, anywhere really, but um, for some reason, I just don't think people are falling out on Park Avenue. You know, understand? And Beverly Hills. I don't think they're suffering from these type of situations in whatever other in the Hamptons, so to speak. And so I, when people say, well, why he just in a black community or a poor community? Well, these things happen like clockwork in our communities. And so when you're in these communities, please, when you see people fall like that, unless you're in Philadelphia or Kingston, that's not funny actually. But I know there are areas I'm well traveled. I've been to Philly. I've been almost everywhere in America. I've been outside America doing this type of work that I'm doing right now. And so I know there are areas where people stand up at stoplights, stand in the middle of the street because they're on heroin, where they just can't. I mean, and it's normal. I get it. I do get it. So I don't want nobody laughing saying that I'm that ignorant or I'm asleep. I get it. But when you see somebody stumble and fall, understand a couple of things could happen. They could bust their head, they could get they could be concussed. Um, just several different things. But what I learned when the cops had to put him on a breathing machine to bring back his breath, he wasn't breathing. I don't know if that's a respirator because I'm not a doctor, but it was some type of thing that helped him breathe. And they feared as well, which is why they wanted to know if he had a drug history. And when I told Marvin, when I said, bro, man, forget that. Tell him what's going to save his life. Marvin told him flat out, yeah, he may have had some drug history. I mean, some drug abuse. And they did something different. And within the next few minutes, that brother started breathing. I just say that because I feel I normally wouldn't even come on. I don't take any credit for it. I really don't. I don't even look for credit for it. But when I think it's a lesson or something that can be said to the people, or the people can get something out of it, why not? Why hold on to it? And so what is that? In our communities, we just can't keep on walking by that because that was not a drug overdose. That was not, alcoholism. That was not tiredness. That was not a man frustrated with his wife. That was not a man frustrated because of a lack of a job. He didn't have corona. That was none of that. That was a seizure. Simple. A lot of things could have happened in that seizure. But the other thing that happened is he laid on that ground for a while. And had I not allowed myself to be that instrument to be played, this morning, to be used by God, because I could have did what other people did. And I just thank God that I didn't. I thank God for that brother's life. But I also thank God for opportunity to give another message. And it's like so many people think it's a common occurrence. And it happens a lot. But sometimes we got to not think about that brother could have a joint in his pocket, or that, because I thought about not calling because of how common it is. I thought about literally just getting out and, hey, you all right? But I didn't. And even when I called out to him, he did not respond. He was not breathing when I came back around. And so I thank God that I was able to be an instrument this morning. And it's never a good thing to see life actually flash before your eyes. It's not a good thing to see somebody dying in front of you. I think as I think about actually my brother, you know, dying in my arms or being killed. I don't know if that made me able to look at that guy this morning and not feel and not run away from it. But this is something that's a duty that we have. I mean, like that guy's a father, possibly. And actually I know he is now that I know who he is. And so it's like, yeah, man, I thank God for that opportunity to my mom and them. Yeah, Tequila, you make sure you drive safe. I don't know for some reason why I could not hear a word you were saying, but you have fun in Miami and hopefully you don't meet nobody from the Bahamas. And that was a joke. That was an Eddie Murphy joke. Named Dexter. Yeah. But anyway, um, being an instrument is a beautiful thing. And it's good on a couple of different reasons. Like somebody said in our family feed this morning. Yeah, yeah. He had a back roads. Somebody said in the family feed, it's a blessing on both ends. It really is. Um, because for me, um, it's good for me to understand and see how God still speaks through us all, and to know that God uses anybody. You don't have to actually be a child of God to be used by God. Understand that. And so, but nevertheless, to be used by God is awesome. But I am a child of God. I do want to say that. And so it's just another beautiful. What is it? A hectic, another manic Tuesday, not a Monday. Another manic Tuesday. We had a great show last night. Um, as I was sitting down on Revolutionary Road Radio last night, I was joined by my cousin Tequila, Deja, the same supporters from the radio network, um, and I appreciate all my listeners on Tan Talk Radio 1340 AM and 106.1 FM. Join me every Monday night, please, please, please. And as you saw last night, we was joined by a great senator. Why I keep misrepresenting this lady? I want to say Susan. Susan for Congress. Susan's running for Congress for the House of Representatives, and for some reason, God, and that's another, God just keep tuning things. But anyway, for some reason she was listening to little old Krown Deon down in St. Petersburg, Florida, and um she called the show and she talked about how grateful she was to hear someone speaking on the things that I was speaking about and how needed it was. And I would just say um, that was a blessing in itself as well. Those are more, those are just more areas where God just kind of confirms you have work to do and you might not always do the right thing. I know I don't. Um, but my ears are always listening and my eyes are always opening. And yeah, this morning was really a blessing. And I say God used me to save a man's life. And yeah, 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 that was awesome. And so I'm gonna get off of this. I'm gonna really get off of here. I'm also doing my radio show for Monday night coming up. And so if you hear me say anything about 1340 Tan Talk Radio, that is the reason why, because it's the best radio network in the Bay Area. So you must join us live every Monday night. You can join them live all the time. They have great shows around the board. So Wake Up with Clearwater. That's not the name of it, but when you wake up in the Clearwater area, that's the station you should be listening to. And that's where I am on Monday nights with Revolutionary Road. Shout out to my former great late host, Bruce Wright. And this morning, I'm just grateful. And yeah, So lo and behold, we still got the war in Ukraine. Um, we have this disinformation campaign, a disinformation campaign that's led by Joe Biden. And what that means is they're simply upset about Twitter. Um, if you know what's going on with Elon Musk buying Twitter, uh, and now the Democrats are totally upset. And I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna get out of here. These people are simply shutting down your freedom of speech. Now they have something what they call the disinformation, I guess, organization. I don't know, but they are going to be telling people what's true and what's not. And if they don't think it's good, then they won't allow it to go out. And what that means is if they don't think it's gonna be good for you to know, in other words, if they can, if you knowing the truth is bad for economics, if you knowing the truth is bad for money for America, if you knowing the truth is bad for votes, if you knowing the truth is bad for anything that the Democrat machine has going right now, then you don't have to hear about it and you don't have the right to hear about it. And this disinformation organization is being put in power to shut it down. And so be aware of that. Listen out for it. Don't think it's a game. Um, you better get a good form source of media, a good source of information. God is good all the time, but God also allowed Pharisees and Sadducees and other types of people to run around to bring you news and uh, reports and good tidings and good cheer and words of this and words of that, even warnings and awareness. And so just because you have a Bible and you might call yourself a Christian, or you may call yourself a Muslim, or even a Jew, or a Hebrew Israelite, um, even a atheist. No matter what you are, you still need to be aware. And having any God under whatever name you call him or her, or the deity, doesn't mean that we don't have to be aware of the things that's going on around us. And we know that from the Bible or the Word itself. And so that's all. It's Krown Deon, unapologetically revolutionary. Uh, you're listening to my podcast. You're listening to the radio show on 1340 Tan Talk Radio, FM 106.1 FM and 1340 AM on Monday nights. Of course, this is a Tuesday, but I am pre-recording this, and it just so happened to be the right time to pre-record because I ran into a beautiful situation this morning. Wait, actually, it wasn't beautiful, but a life was saved, and the way it turned out is not the way it ended. And that's just how it goes. A lot of times, as the word says, a lot of things that the world or the devil or bad intentions has for you, a lot of times those things that the world would have for you, God will use it and turn it out to be good. And God will use that situation to show you the good. And so I seen good this morning. I saw a man not breathing. 5 minutes later, I saw that man breathing. And a lot of people could have actually went home and saw the news later. And I'm one of those people. Could have went home and saw the news later, and we would have said, me and probably 10, 15 other people, maybe even more, I saw that man. Well, some wouldn't say it because they're not man or woman enough. Some would not admit it to themselves. But for the real ones, they would have went home and they would have saw it on the news, and they would have said to themselves, I feel like boo-boo. I feel like crap because I saw that man fall out. I saw the man fall straight on his face, and I did nothing. As a matter of fact, I assumed he was a drunk or alcoholic or a drug addict in my head, and I passed right by. That's what we would have been saying. But God has the last word, and it just so happens circumstances happen and went in the right way. That man is alive, and so thankfully, no one has to feel guilty that drove by this morning, and chances are they won't even know about how serious the situation was because they won't see him on the news today. And I thank God for that, and I thank God for allowing me to have something to do with that. So if you see somebody in a situation like that, man, if you see me just in a situation where you know it ain't normal, I'm out, I fall, I ain't walking right. Hey man, don't think about what may be in my car. Don't think about what may be in my pocket. Don't think about none of that. Call some help for me. All right. Because if I got a joint, I get out of jail. I mean, have we seen what's going on in New York? You can almost kill somebody and get out of jail. And that's not New York. If I got a warrant, I can get out on bond or some at some point. I don't care if you got that man got to go away. He can live and come home and see his children. And so let's not think about the petty things when someone's life is in the balance, you know. And sometimes we may not know when it's in the balance, but that's the whole point, you know. That's the whole point. Um, yeah, man. I really want to appreciate. I was speaking about the lady running for Congress. Her name is Susan. Susan for Congress is her Twitter handle. And you know, when somebody take their time and you know they're running for some type of seat, some type of thing to give them control or give them some type of power to have control over our lives. A lot of times those people don't want to hear what you got to say. They only want to hear what you got to say if you're on national news or media. And so for that lady to take her time and from Chicago to say, hey, I've been listening to your show. And I think what you're saying is great. Um, that says something about the candidate, which I mean, that says something about uh, her being a people person, but also willing to listen and probably a real foot soldier. And what I mean is an on the ground worker. And so that's good for Chicago. Lord knows Chicago need help more than just as much as probably anybody in the nation. Yeah, yeah. And so God is good all the time. If you get an opportunity to bless somebody, to touch somebody, and I'm not when I say bless somebody, I'm not talking about the people in your family, the people, the girl or the guy that you're having actions with. And uh, I'm not talking about your friend, your homeboy, or your homegirl that you grew up with. I'm talking about somebody that you don't know from Adam. If you want to bless somebody, find that person, let them know God loves them, give them a blessed word of encouragement, and let them know God loves them. That's how you give somebody a blessing, and that is how you actually. That's like really Christmas, like, right? You know, uh, the gift to the world of strangers, right? Uh, yeah. But to have an excuse, you might say, well, it wasn't a world of strangers. You know, God knew the whole world. All right, save it. Um, Loving someone, you're supposed to love all people, but doing something for somebody that you know and love already every day, some members of your family, is not the same as going out and blessing that stranger or touching that stranger. And so, and letting them know this is how I will show you God's love. You know, letting them know as a stranger going to them. You know, not Mother's Day is coming up. You know, I say Mother's Day right now. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. But to bless a mother on Mother's Day that is not your mother or your auntie or your girlfriend's mom. How about that? And it don't have to be Mother's Day. And so that's all I'm saying. You know, these things that we call ourselves doing for people. Oh, I'm finna go, oh yeah, God is good, man. You know, God reached out in my heart and told me to go and bless these people. Then when you go over there and you bless them, you find out them people is your family members. You ain't did nothing. You ain't did nothing. All right. You got $100 million. It's like this guy on Twitter from Texas, a billionaire. And he says, I finally feel, and this is to, I hope my guy from Twitter sees it. I finally feel like I want to say he said finally. He says it's time for me to give back to my community. It's time for me, a billionaire, saying this. And he says, so what I want to do is if Elon Musk buys Twitter, I will give him. Wait, hold on. If Elon Musk is willing to move Twitter, not buy it because he already bought it, move Twitter to Texas, I give him 100 acres of land, maybe 1,000. I'm not really sure. Maybe 100, maybe 1,000. But the bottom line is that's not giving back to your community. I understand Twitter to produce some jobs and this and that, but that's a billionaire giving another billionaire a gift. It's not the same. And so, anyway. Krown Deon, 1340 Tan Talk Radio, 1340 AM, 106.1 FM is the affiliate. You're listening to Revolutionary Road, also unapologetically revolutionary. And I had a great show last night. I hope it's another great show coming up this Monday. Actually, it will be because this is it, right? Yeah, man. I woke up and as we all did, listening to this, but God found a way to use me today, and I'm glad about it. And I know when I go to Quickies, for all of my brothers at Quickies, I know I know when I see my brother, he'll want to give thanks, but thanks goes to God, and I can't blame him for saying thanks to me. When he do, I'll take it, but I'm I'm banking and counting on him also realizing that I was just the tool used at that time. And yeah, yeah. What's up, brother? How you doing? I don't know why I'm having some real issues with hearing people, man. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having some real issues hearing you, brother. But within about 5 minutes, this is my brother Gene from Haiti. He's always doing work with the youth. I know I said that wrong. The work with the orphanage, the youth, the children, and it's always, if you want to give, it's always a good um, foundation to give to through my brother here, and he's always doing the work. And the best thing about it is my brother John. He always gives you proof of the work. He allows you to see what he's doing. By the way, I do want to say we raised about $2,000 for John and the children in the orphanage. Me and a bunch of other people, not just myself, but John doing a lot of fundraising, and Kay's Foundation doing fundraising, and just a lot of people throughout different means. And he needed $2,000 to get housing for a year in Haiti. Well, when he got that, when we raised it, he sent us. We got the footage, we got videos, and we see it constantly every day. He's giving us updates every day. And it's amazing to learn what $2,000 can do in Haiti. And I mean, like, gee whiz, like I'm actually, I'm not married. I don't have a girl. I'm like, wow. Haiti seems like a place to go. I mean, like $2,000 did something beautiful. I mean, just think how far $2,000 goes in Florida. Yes, man. I want you to. I just can't hear you, bro. Approve. I sent it again, and so yes, Lily. Shout out to Pocahontas. Pocahontas. Yes, indeed. And yes, so um, my brother John has an orphanage. Not really. These are his children. It's an orphanage to us because we look at it that way. But these are just children that he's come together and he's raising. So he don't look at them as orphans. He look at them as his children. But they are not his children. And so he's doing the work of God. That's what I'm saying. It's like that. I just spoke about that, brother. I don't know if you can hear me because I know you can hear me, but I can't. I don't know. I can't hear you. But I just spoke about how we never know when we're going to be used as instruments. And the thing about an instrument, I picked up my guitar and I was telling people how I never play it. I don't even tune it. You know, I don't. I don't practice. I wish I could learn how to play, but I'm saying as of right now, I don't know how to play. And I don't tune it or anything. But God tunes people. If you're willing to be tuned, and that's not God tuning Christians, that's not God tuning Muslims, that's not God tuning Hebrews, Jews. God tunes people. Okay, and so when we're conscious of it and when we're allowing ourselves to be tuned, then we're ready to be played at any time. We're ready to be used as a tool or instrument at any time. And my brother is a instrument down in Haiti. Whether he realizes to what extent or not, I want you to know that you are. And if you can give $1, I mean $1, a simple dollar, I don't care whenever you run it back. If you can give $1 to that brother's cause, everybody see his name in the feed. Even when you run it back. For those who may be listening on my podcast, just go to support Haiti. You'll see that foundation come up. In particular, I think it's Cage Timon Foundation. But more than anything, supporting Haiti is something worthy of doing. But if we can get in touch with that brother in particular, to support not just Haiti, but in particular that family. And like I said, seeing how far $2,000 go, my brother, is amazing, because $2,000 don't go far at all. Right here, there's people paying $2,000 just for a month. There are people in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I know every other major black city where poor, not just major black city, but city where poor people are. But we have our strip of hotels is US 19, where they have just hotels everywhere, and we have families paying more money a month to stay in these hotels. I mean, like probably up to $1,400 to $1,500 a month. $400 and $500 a week. To stay at these places, to stay in a small room. And my brother was honest about the fact that he could need $2,000 and it would get housing for a full year. Am I correct, my brother? Yes, for a full year. And if you follow his page, if you get on his page, or if you look on my page, or People's Voice, you'll see a lot of updates from the brother. You'll see the mansion, or you'll see it's a mansion in Florida or in St. Pete, or in the States, it would be known as a very big house. But when you have an orphanage and you have 13 children or 13 people, it's not the same, but it's still housing. But all I'm saying is $2,000 was able to get this beautiful house and this huge house for these 13 members for a full year. And man, you can't beat that. God is good. And so I just say that to say, how many people are right now? I mean, I got a blunt ready for when I'm done. My morning has been that way, and I've already given thanks. So now I'm gonna bless up. And how many people right now are smoking a blunt that may have costed $5, maybe $10 if you smoke good? If you're smoking good stuff, you just spent $10 this morning. And if you smoke real good stuff, you spent $20 just for a joint. You know what I mean? And if you smoke better quality, then you have some type of vape pen that costed you $40. You may have some wax. But all I'm saying is, even if you drink for the cost of a high, even if it's a different high, even if it's a different enjoyment, karaoke, bowling, pool. Well, maybe not pool. It's only, yeah. But you get my point. For the cost of a high, we can feed families. We can direct monies that will buy housing for a year. $2,000 for a whole year? Huh? Show me that in Florida. I'm single. I'm like, I don't even have a. Show me that in Florida in a room, even in a room. I can move that right now. I'm already getting my house ready for some Airbnb, and so show me a small spot I can go and stay. A small spot. Yeah, but what I'm saying is this brother was able to do that with money we raised. Thanks be to God and to a bunch of people out there. So if you're listening to me and you saw the brother come up, his name is John. Uh, you can look on my page. You saw his name in the feed, and if you're still just listening through YouTube, John Francis, support Haiti, the Kate Timon Foundation. $1 goes very far, and I don't know nobody who's trying to waste time and use their credit card to spend $1. So $5 goes even further. Like I said, for the cost of a high, or the cost of enjoyment, or the simple cost of okay, can't bring them on. All right. They keep all right, or the simple cost of some of these foundations that we give our money to, and we don't even ask them to be accountable. We don't even see where they're putting the money. What I'm telling you is this brother gives updates because he understands that Facebook is a bunch of ripoffs. He understands that. I don't mean Facebook in particular, but people using Facebook. And that's so sad to say. I've got to the point where I don't even do business with black people on Facebook, and I hate saying that. And I'm just being real. Not that I don't know. Let me correct that, because I do support Uzi Gear. Um, my son has a line coming out. Big Cheese. I love Sketty TV, Sketty Talk. So I'm all about supporting my people. But it's at a point to where I gotta know you, and that's pathetic. That is sad. And at the same time, I understand it's another hustle. And so I get it. But I'm just saying, I'm at the point where I don't support a lot unless I gotta know you. And so I'm vouching for my brother John Francis because I know a lot of people may have the same thought, and he knows it. That is why he gives updates constantly. He is allowing you to live. He allows you to actually see the children live, you know, every day. And if you're actually in tune enough and follow him enough, you'll know those kids' names. I got a lot uh going on myself, so I don't, as well as I should. But I've actually had opportunities to sit and talk to them through him. And so it's a beautiful thing. And I'm just saying we give a lot based on to professional football players all over the world. Let me see how much time I got because I am this is also Revolutionary Road, Tan Talk Radio, 1340 AM, 106.1 FM. I'm unapologetically revolutionary, Krown Deon at all times. They are professional football players, basketball players, even hockey, whatever your professionalism may be. You are allowing your bosses, I don't know, the league, you give, and we see the commercials all the time. Hold on one second. We see the commercials all the time where if this person get a couple of sacks, or this person might get a couple of interceptions, or this person might make so many points. If this happened and that happens, this player will give a check in this foundation's name. What that means is that person ain't writing a check. That means they just putting that person's name on the check to make it look good, and they're finding the foundations they want to give it to. So they're giving all of this money to all of these foundations that of their choosing under all of these players' names. And these players you're patting yourself on the back like you're giving to somebody, but all you're doing is you're making more billionaires. Find out how much nonprofit organizations, hey, I'm good. How are you? You see me doing my thing, same thing. And I'm so glad you're always supportive. But find out how much nonprofit organizations, 501c3s have to actually give to the purpose for what you are giving that money to. 10%. All right, that's it. 10%, unless something has changed over the last year or two, and if they do change it, and now actually it hasn't, 10%. That means if you gave $10, they can take 9 and put it in their board members' pockets. Yes, indeed, my brother. That means they take 9 and put it in their board members' pockets, and they take $1 of your money and they give it to that person or that organization or that woman who needs help, with, or that father, that addict, whatever the cause may be that you gave your money to. They $1 out of 10. So to all you professional football, basketball players who are letting this stuff, you need this. What you need to do: say no. Let me choose my own foundation. My good, congratulations, big ups, my good brother, cousin. I call him my brother because he is, but he's my cousin. And that's right. Kenny, peace. And so find out, a lot of Bucks players. We love the Bucks in our area. Find out. Say no. It's nothing wrong with it. This is my professional people need to say, especially if you're African American or poor, Hispanic. Stop letting them take your money that you're supposed to be giving and going and give it to make other people rich in a cause that ain't even got nothing to do with you, right? And so just simply say, with all due respect, can I pick my own foundation to give to? Can I choose a foundation myself? Can I give y'all 5 foundations and you choose one of them? There's nothing wrong with that. And what you'll find out is organizations and small groups in poor communities will get bigger. They will get better. They will have better funding because people with woke, real woke, not CNN woke, real woke, will be giving to charities and foundations that really needs them and that really use them. And so, like I said, I want to get back to my point because I'm at minute 57. And on Tan Talk Radio, I got 60 minutes. And so, for my brother, John Francis, he's always giving. He's always allowing the people to see how much progress we have made. So, like I said, for the cost of a high, whatever your high may be, whatever your enjoyment may be, high don't just mean high. High don't just mean that. You may get a high. You may have a high of helping people. Right? My brother Kenny, he got beasts in his house. So he loves dogs. We got a lot of pet lovers out here. Whatever your high may be, for the cost of a high for the minute, we're not even talking about a day. For the cost of the high for the hour, $5 can go very far. $2,000 got housing for 13, a family of 13. These not his natural children. He calls it an orphanage. We call it an orphanage. He calls them his kids. All right? We know in Haiti, all types of things can happen that makes people who are not natural mothers or fathers become mothers and fathers. That don't just happen in Haiti. That's happening right here in America. Right? That's a strong mother right here on the feed. She understands. A strong mother that could use. That's always trying to. We got mothers that depend on foundations. I don't know all of these foundations. I'm a little older now, but I know the Alpha House is a foundation that helps a lot of women. I don't know the Y is formerly one of the foundations that helps a lot of women. Kathy, please give me some while I'm speaking. But there are groups that helps people all over, and some of them do not have those women or those young men or those addicts' best intention at heart. Find out who's on the boards and then look up those boards because they don't hide it. We just don't try to find out. You find out, look up the Goodwill board, the Salvation Army, the people that we always run to help. Look at their boards and then find out how filthy rich some of these people are. And then point to yourself and say, I did that. Directions for Living has a sector for helping families. That's okay. Directions for Living. Yeah. A lot of times we can look at those people and say, we helped do that. And so I don't want to beat it down. I want to thank God for allowing me to be an instrument this morning. Uh, I did not decide to drive by when I saw a man buckle and go to the ground. A lot of people did decide to drive by, but because I didn't, that man's life was saved. He was not. He lost breath, and I thank God. A lot of times in poor communities, California, Chicago, Philly, New Jersey. I've been all of those places. I haven't been to Chicago, but I've been to every other place I just named. Texas, drug abuse and drug awareness is like the drugs in our community is so rampant that sometimes we just see that stuff and we don't even take it serious. Oh, he'll be okay. Oh, that just happened. Metropolitan Ministries. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yes. Um, and we don't take that situation serious, and we think it's just another junkie or addict that passed out, and we drive by. I thank God that was not in my heart this morning, and neither will it be any other time. God told me that was different, and his life will be saved, and people won't see it on the news because of that. So I saved some people from having some guilt. Catholic charities, and those are all beautiful. Yeah, but the thing, all beautiful and all there to help in the time of need. But I'm almost positive, not but, I won't say but, because she's there, she's doing what I asked her to do, and I appreciate it. For some women that may hear it later, she's listing 211 has lots of resources. Yes, 211 has lots of resources. uh 211 would be a resourceful place that will give you other resources that are not as commonly out there. So all I'm saying is I don't knock any of those places. I don't knock Goodwill. I don't knock Salvation Army either. I'm just saying, for those who are sitting down saying, I want to help and I want to give $10, that means you want $10 to go to that purpose, not 10, not one, not $9 go into somebody's pocket. And so find out what charities you give to, find out their ethics, find out their principles, find out how their board members may be living, and find out if you're really making them rich or if you're really helping a cause. All right. This is Krown Deon, man. Out of here. God is good. Like I said earlier, if you can, bless somebody today. And bless somebody. Bless a stranger, not a family member, not a friend. Uh, yeah, man. Let your mom know you love her. Don't wait till Sunday. All right. We'll do it Sunday. We'll let her know today. Love you, mom. And all mothers, you're awesome. Stop letting anybody compare anybody to you. Women. Yeah, yeah. I almost said a non-word. But guess what? They're making up phrases and words every day. So I'm going to make up some right now. You're uncomparable. You're incomparable. You're not to be compared to. One word. Squish it all together. You're not comparable. Let me see. You're let me see. So I need some French and some liter. I need all of those words to come together to let people know that there is nothing on earth that God made like the woman. Now y'all may say, well, you need a man to make a baby. Yeah, you do. But somebody got to carry the baby. You know, somebody. I mean, you know, they artificially inseminate uh, women. And so, yes, man sperm and this and that. And at the rate they're going, they'll be able to reproduce a man sperm without a man anyway and still need a woman. And so, yeah, we don't know where we're going with science, but I'm just simply saying God is good, and God and science ain't the same. All right. Got a little bit off subject. I'm out of here. Krown Deon. Film.